Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. This is me, Asam Hilmi. I'm a success partner with OBA Energy. I am very happy to be your moderator in today's webinar. We have a very interesting webinar, actually, for today to discuss with our instructor and guest speaker for today's webinar, Engineer Ahmed Saleh. Today, we have a webinar about IOGP uh, process safety fundamentals. For you who don't know what IOGP stands for, IOGP stands for International Association of Oil and Gas Producers. It's a global organization that represents the upstream oil and gas industry. The association aims to promote safe, responsible, and sustainable exploration and production of oil and gas resources, as well as to provide a platform for industry collaboration, sharing of best practices, and advocacy on behalf of the industry. Definitely, we will know more about this with Engineer Ahmed Saleh. Before starting the webinar, I'd like to give a very short presentation as an introduction about OBA Energy for those who are first to join us in this webinar. Also, for your note, these webinars is a series of free webinars that OBA Energy is committed to share with its audience for sharing knowledge. This is webinar number 63. You will find all these webinars recorded on our YouTube channel. So I will go through the presentation for now. So this presentation provides the upcoming services plan for OBA Energy, actually. This dashboard shows and represents OBA Energy in terms of numbers. We have different teams here in Egypt and in Lebanon and Belgium. We have more than 40 instructors in different experiences and different departments in the oil and gas industry, actually the energy industry. We have already provided more than 30 live courses in different topics, actually interesting topics. We provided more than 30, more than 60 actually free webinars, mentorship programs. We are represented on social media platforms. We thanks to all of you, we have reached to 16K followers on LinkedIn and on other media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I can say that we reach it to most of the people worldwide. I'm not talking here about the numbers, but I'm talking to about the region. So if we got one from each country, so we already reached this place. So to continue with this, the main target of this presentation is to introduce you to the 8 quarter live courses for 2023 that OBA provides. This is a little bit different than the one that I presented in the previous webinar. We have a little change in the dates of these courses. We will provide through May and June for interesting topics, water flooding design and optimization, that will start in the 13th of May and end by the 18th of May. Gas lift theory, operation and design, another very interesting course that will start by the end of May, 27th of May actually, and end by the 1st of June. Two more interesting courses, advanced integrated formation evaluations, that will start in the 10th of June and end by the 15th of June. The last course is Advanced Well Intervention Operation, a lovely course. I love well intervention so much and the operations of the oil and gas industry. This interesting course will start in 24th of June and end by 29th of June. We, as you can see in like a dark color, we have break during these courses, which is actually on Tuesdays. What's next? So if you'd like to join us in one or more of these interesting courses, I really encourage you to scan this QR code to find the link to register in one or more of these courses. And moreover, I will provide you with the registration link. If you can't scan the code, you have now the link in the chat box. So we also have a history of very interesting recorded courses. As I already mentioned earlier, we have more than 30 recorded courses available for your ease, and you can see these courses whenever you want, as they are recorded. You can see that we have recorded courses in different softwares that are used in the energy industry, like Sapphire, OFM, HISYS, Betrayal, Techlog, Pipesam, um Olga, and many other interesting softwares, and also technical courses. Like if you see in the last of this list, drilling fluid school, perforation design, regular well intervention operation. So these actually are very interesting courses. We also provide big sale for these courses. The more you register in these courses, the more discount you will actually get, and also you will see the link for this big sale in the set of links that I put in the chat 1 minute ago. We also provide mentorship programs. These mentorship programs you design with us based on your needs and what experience you are willing to get. I don't want to be long with this. You can find this on our social media platforms. This is our interesting website. You will find here all the recorded courses, as I mentioned in the previous list. We also provide internship programs. We have already conducted 2 ground internship programs here in Egypt for different groups of students from Lebanon, Beirut Arab Universities, and another universities, as well as 1 online internship program during the pandemic times. Uh, you can be an ambassador with OBA and enjoy all the benefits that we provide to all of our ambassadors just by joining us in any of the services that we provide, either a live course, recorded course, or mentorship program, or an internship program. Uh, don't want to be that long, so uh, tips and rules for this webinar to start. Sorry for being long. Please, I have muted all your microphones to have a clear understanding of the topic with Engineer Ahmad. If you have a question, please put your question in the chat box. Preferred to be by the end of the webinar so that I can get all the questions and ask Engineer Ahmad so that I don't miss any of your questions. If you join this webinar using a different name, like iPhone, Galaxy, or something like this, I really encourage you to rename yourself with your actual name, as we will send you certificates of attendance for this webinar by 1 week from today, inshallah. This is everything. Engineer Ahmed, sorry for being too long. I'd like to uh, introduce Engineer Ahmed Saleh, to all of you. So actually, we have an expert and a very experienced guest speaker for today's webinar, Engineer Ahmed Saleh. Engineer Ahmed is an EH&S engineer, environmental health and safety engineer, with many certificates. He is working with Khalda Petroleum Company, one of the major producers of oil and gas here in Egypt. He's working in Salam fields. He is actually a manager for the gas EH&S a manager. He is also a graduate of the middle management program that the Ministry of Petroleum here in Egypt to provide to the top talented candidates in the oil and gas companies here in Egypt. He is a radiation safety advisor from the Egyptian Nuclear and Radiological Regulatory Authority. He's certified NEBOSH, certified lead auditor ISO 4501, 1401. He's a certified norm controller from the International Atomic Energy Agency. He is also certified incident investigator from World Health Organization, WHO. He has different experiences that covers safety in the oil and gas operations. Now I will stop share and hand over to our beloved guest speaker for today, Engineer Ahmed Saleh. The stage is yours to start the webinar, and sorry for being too long.
Thank you, Engineer Hassan, for this introduction. And hello for everyone. Let me first share my presentation. Kindly, I need to confirm of the clear of my voice and the presentation. It's okay for all? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Firstly, it's my pleasure to be one of the OPA team, and it's a great honor to be a part of this webinar with you. Our subject today about the process safety fundamentals, one of the major element in the oil and gas industry today for all organizations in oil and gas that working in our industry are concerned to the process safety. Firstly, I wanted to introduce the IOGP. Thanks for Engineer Assam Halmi for his introduction about the IOGP, the International Association of Oil and Gas Producers, but let us know about. Firstly, this is the global voice of our industry. Did IOGP the pioneering excellence in safe, efficient, and sustainable energy supply? The IOGP members of integrated energy companies, national oil companies, independent upstream operators, and service companies. The IOGP members supply over 40% of the world's oil and gas demand for almost 50 years. Also, the IOGP work with over 2,250 experts for their member organizations to identify and share knowledge and good practices to improve performance across industry. Our subject today was issued in a report number 638 from IOGP that was issued in October 2020. This report was developed through a data reported over 10 years from 2007 to 2017. The main event in these 10 years that was about 128 of people lost their lives over 56 process safety events. Based on that, the 10 PSF, the process safety fundamentals, 10 core PSFs was developed and designed to overcome such fatal error. Firstly, I wanted to introduce what is the process safety concept. Process safety is a disciplined framework for managing the integrity of operating systems and processes that handle hazardous substances. The goal of process safety and asset integrity is to prevent both. Firstly, unplanned release, which could result in a major incident, where the IOGP process safety are informed by data and designed to draw attention. The process safety designed to support those in frontline operations, maintenance, and well teams. The IOGP process safety informed by data and designed to draw attention to situations that are most likely to lead process safety event fatalities. They are, therefore, not intended to exhaustively address all process safety risks and hazards in oil and gas industry, but to be deployed in addition to a company's underlying systems for process safety management. Why process safety fundamentals? Why the IOGP interested in the fundamentals in the process safety management great field? Firstly, it is a key actions to reduce and ultimately eliminate fatal and high severity process safety events, like the process safety fundamentals support the frontline workers, support the people who getting the work by themselves, by their hands, by their mentals. The process safety fundamentals support the people who working on the rig floor, who working inside plant, the one who close or open the valve, the one who raised the production or shut off a pump, the people on the front line directly. The process safety fundamentals is a clear concept, a clear 10 core fundamentals, as we will expose to you in the next presentation. Also, it is a very simple rules, very, very simple to be taught to any of your technicians, engineers, and also your managers. It can be deployed and distributed over all your subordinates in your organization, as it is very simple. Also, it is a task level. You can categorize and cascading these process safety fundamentals into action plan, as it is already a key actions to all your levels in your organization. It is one of its great observable, as the process safety fundamental can be observed directly. It is not hidden. It is not needed any interpretation. It is not needed a great and deep explanation to expose the process safety fundamentals. Process safety fundamentals, the PSFs, can be exposed through your webinars, through your safety training, through your posters, safety signs, and otherwise. These give a clearer picture of what process safety means in a day-to-day activities. As I told you before, the process safety is a new field somehow in our industry, a new field that it concerns to our safety professional, especially. Safety professional in the past years not interested in the process safety itself, but today the process safety have a great and a wide picture, a big picture for our safety, not only the personal safety, but also the process safety. So, as it is very difficult for all the levels in our organization to explain the process safety means, the process safety fundamentals was designed and developed to simplify the process safety for all your subordinates in their day-to-day activities. Also, the PSF is a proactive actions. If you apply the PSF in your organization, with your teams, in your location, in your plant, you can prevent a major event, you can prevent unwanted incident, you can prevent fatalities, you can also prevent many injuries. So there is a lot of losses. You can prevent it through these proactive process safety fundamentals. Last one of the key actions of the process safety, it is actionable. It can be applied from tomorrow. Process safety do not need a great resources, do not need a great money, do not need a great team with a very, very difficult and complicated experiences. No, it can be actionable from tomorrow with your teams in your organization directly. As I told you before, about 128 of people might still be alive if the process safety fundamentals had been implemented. In these statistics that IOGP already developed, there is a proportional of the fatal process safety linked to one of the process safety fundamentals. Based on the data that collected over these 10 years from 2007 to 2017, they can obtain that 91% of incidents that occurred in the process safety events over these 10 years was linked to one of the 10 process safety fundamentals. 91%. It's a great portion. Also, there was only a 9% of these incidents not linked to one of the process safety fundamentals. From this graph, we can recognize that what is the importance, the great importance of the process safety fundamentals, where if these process safety fundamentals had been implemented, as you can see, 128 of people might be still alive. Now, let me show you what is the process safety fundamentals. Firstly, the maintain safe isolation. Second, walk the line. Apply procedures. Sustain barriers. Control ignition sources. Recognize change. Respect hazards. Stay within operating limits. Stop if the unexpected occurs. And finally, watch for weak signals. A great visualization, a great choose for a 10 effective process safety fundamentals. If you can see for these 10 process safety fundamentals, I think in your minds now, you are thinking about, yeah, I can maintain a safe isolation. We already do that in our organization. Yeah, you are sure. Yeah, we can apply procedure. In your mind, we have to stay within operating limits. Yeah, as you can see, simple, clear, observable, actionable. It's a great process safety fundamentals. Through our session and through our course, inshallah, with OPA, you can learn more about these 10 marvelous process safety fundamentals. But what if there is a failure of the process safety? What it can lead to? You can ask yourself, if we don't apply one or more of the process safety fundamentals, what it can lead to? So to explain to you the failure of process safety can lead to what, I wanted to explain this incident. It is Nasr Petroleum Company major fire. There was a major fire that occurred in a refinery company in Egypt that called Nasr Petroleum Company. What happened? In 14th April 2012, a tank farm number 46 was on fire. Started with a waste tank number 152 and extended to another 5 tanks that caught the fire. There was a single fatality that was a company driver, in addition to 12 of injured persons, of workers and firefighters that was fighting this great fire. What happened in this major fire? Firstly, the fire extended to 3 days with involvement of the armed forces and 10 companies of petroleum company in Egypt. 10 companies involved in this firefighting event by their resources, their fire trucks, and their firefighting teams. In addition to the armed forces in Egypt with a helicopter firefighting. You can imagine how this fire was major, how this fire was a catastrophic. This picture is a real picture of the firefighting event through it. So what happened for this fire, and what is the link between the PSF and this major fire? Firstly, there was a tank vapor release from a waste tank. The waste tank is a tank that collecting all the waste from other tanks, from kerosene, from gasoline, from naphtha, and also. So all this waste collecting in a single tank. This tank was have a specific capacity, and the SOPs, or the operating procedure of this tank, limits the level inside this tank to a certain level. To overcome more additional and gas cloud that can be developed from the vapors of this tank. As this incident happened in April, this is a summertime in Egypt, so the evaporation was little bit greater than the previous months. So there was a slight increase in the tank vapor release from the breathing valve of this tank. So there was a gas cloud that covers the tank farm. There was a vehicle, a gasoline vehicle, that is working with an engine with a vehicle spark plug. As you know, the vehicle spark plug is generating a spark to ignite the gasoline inside the engine. So this type of vehicles, the gasoline vehicles, is prohibited to be working inside any plant that have a classified zone, like the tank farm. Unfortunately, there was a driver driving this car just beside the tank farm. Once this driver started the engine, the vehicle spark plug generating its spark, so there was a fire in this tank farm. The last barrier that have been failed is the firefighting system. As you know, any hydrocarbon tank, whatever the flammable material inside, should be covered with a firefighting system, an automatic fire suppression system, especially with foam, like AFFF foam firefighting. This firefighting system have a specific detectors, automatic detectors, that once it's detect a fire, once it's detect a gas, once it detect a smoke, whatever once it detect a heating, as you can know, it can be equipped with a heat detector. Once the detector is addressed, so the firefighting system suddenly suppress this fire through a foam blanket that can cover all the tank roof to control the fire. But unfortunately, in our incident today, the firefighting system has been failed. Why? Because no testing that was carried out for this firefighting system, no maintenance, no check for a couple of years ago. Couple of years, the firefighting team never check the firefighting system, never check its reliability, never check or testing any kind of firefighting for this system. So when the incident happened, the firefighting failed. From this incident, you can say that, firstly, the tank vapor release, the shift engineer and the process team failed to stay within operating limits. This is the first barrier that have been failed. Second, no control ignition for the ignition sources. As you can see, the vehicle spark plug and this type of vehicle shouldn't be exist in such classified area. So the control ignition source have been failed. Finally, how to sustain barrier, such engineering barrier as the firefighting system have been failed because no testing, no check. As you can see, this incident is linked to three of process safety fundamentals. three of process safety fundamentals are linked to such great and major fire incidents. How to implement the process safety fundamentals and what is its challenges. Process safety fundamentals can be implemented through key actions. Some actions in the process safety fundamentals can be applied in our organization. Firstly, toolbox talk and safety meeting. Can we learn from incidents that involved a process safety not being followed? As we explained just in the previous slide about the incident that happened in the Nasr Petroleum Company, this is can we learn from. There is three of process safety fundamentals not being followed, so the incident happened. We can discuss this incident and the learned lessons from this incident to prevent the reoccurrence through our toolbox talks and our safety meeting. Second, the pre-job planning. How are the PSF applicable to the work we are doing today? We have to ask ourselves about this question. We have to ask our teams. We have to ask our manager, how are the PSF applicable to our work are doing today? What do we need to do to follow the PSF? Have we already isolated the equipment with enough and approved isolation? Have we controlled all the ignition sources? Have we walked the line, follow the P&IDs? Have we already applied the SOPs, the standard operating procedure? Have we applied the procedure for this equipment, for this plant, for the job? We have to ask ourselves this and what we need to do to follow the PSF. Also, what needs to be in place? Have we need a firefighting system to be in place? Have we need a fire truck to be in place? Have we need a special equipment to be in place? Have we need inert gas to be in place? And finally, is everything in place and in good working condition? Not enough to the resources is available, but also it has to be available, enough of count, and also in a good working condition. In the previous incident that explained in the previous slide, in Nasr Petroleum Company, there was already a firefighting system installed on the tanks, but not in a good working condition. So everything should be in place and in a good working condition. Third, the last minute risk assessment. Have I done all the PSF actions relevant before the job? Is everything as we discussed in the pre-job planning? Are there any line of fire hazards or ignition sources we didn't identify? Such questions we have to ask to ourselves to ensure that everything was assessed, every risk was identified, was assessed, was controlled with enough actions. So you can ask your team of these questions through the PSF itself. You can enroll in the PSF's course from 1 to 10 PSF and ask what we can do with this one. Fourth, the post-job reviews. This is an important issue we may be missed in our organization. That did we take all the action associated with the PSF? What went well and what didn't go well? Is there anything to note for the next time we have to this perform task or work in this area? Maybe the job itself already passed in a safe manner, but maybe there was a different and a little or a few number of actions that didn't go well. We have to learn from and reassess it to prevent the reoccurrence of such errors, such problems, such defects, such violations from the next job to be carried out. Fifth, the observation and walkabout. This is one of the main and great tool that we can use to implement the PSF. Do you see anyone performing work where a PSF is relevant? So are they following it? If yes, great, recognize it. If it no, intervene, stop it. If someone bring up the PSF dilemma, thank them and show them you will take it seriously. Let me tell you guys that I believe that the conversation between people is a great tool. We have to use wisely because the interaction between people can have a great effect inside the smallest worker in your organization. So the observations and walkabout is not to accuse someone, is not to tell someone you are doing well or you are doing not well. We are not a camera, a safety professional, not a camera for the organization, not a camera to accuse the people of the violations. No, but we are working together. The safety professional have a great message to be delivered to all the organization staff. This message is how to perform your work in a safe manner. How do you get back to your family in a safe manner? How you can work without incident, without injury, and without lost one of our fellows. The last one is a stop, the intervention. All of us have to intervene or stop the work if a PSF is not being followed. You have to immediately stop any work, intervene for any job, any task that are not following the PSF. I think in all our organizations' policies, we have a clear statement that tells you that everyone in the organization have the right to intervene or stop any unsafe act or unsafe condition. Yes, all of us have such a clear statement in our policies. So we have to use such powerful tool, such powerful statement in our policies to intervene and stop the work if the PSF are not being followed. As you can see from this six implementing actions, the main challenge that can we observe in this implementation actions, from my opinion, is the interaction with people. The interaction with people is the main challenges. As you can see, you have to intervene, you have to interfere, you have to communicate with people in all these actions. People with different cultures, different learning, different education, different level inside the organization, and also a different target from the task itself. So from my opinion, the main challenge in applying PSF is the interaction with people. You have the right to read all these implementation actions and think about what is the challenges from your point of view, and let us know your thoughts through our conversation, inshallah, after this webinar. For a small recap of our webinar today, the data reported by IOGP member over a period of 10 years from 2007 to 2017 showed that 128 people lost their lives in 56 process safety events. In response to this, the IOGP, the International Association of Oil and Gas Producers, process safety fundamentals have been developed to support the companies as they seek to reduce and ultimately eliminate the fatal and high severity process safety events. The process safety fundamentals designed to support those working in frontline operation, maintenance, and on-well teams. Finally, the PSF are therefore not intended to exhaustively address all process safety risks, not all risks, not all hazards in oil and gas industry, but to be deployed in addition to the company's underlying process safety management system. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for attending our webinar today. You have to access to OPE Energy website for reservation, presentation, and more courses, and keep in touch. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Engineer Ahmed, for this interesting webinar, and thanks for sharing this knowledge with us. Guys, we have enough time to receive your questions and discuss them with Engineer Ahmed. So I'm waiting for your questions, and in the meanwhile, I will provide you with the feedback form for this webinar. We always look for development and growing and improving our growth areas. So please take a minute to fill in this feedback form that I sent now in the chat box. I will remind you again, I'm waiting for your questions. Also, I would like to tell you that Engineer Ahmed was interested and also wanted to make sure that you get the best benefit of this webinar. So he made an effort to organize like a 10 questions quiz to make sure that you get all the information from this webinar. I will give you time first to fill in the feedback form, then I will send you the link for the quiz that Engineer Ahmed prepared. Thanks to him for this offer. So where are your questions, guys?
I think Engineer Sam, they are busy with the feedback.
Yes,
For
I'll give them a couple of minutes
yeah.
to do this. And actually, I see that your webinar was very organized, and there may be no questions. It was very clear. Really, a very interesting topic, process safety, which is a critical aspect of the oil and gas industry, as it involves managing the risks associated with the operation of complex industrial processes, as Engineer Ahmed mentioned. The International Association of Oil and Gas Producers has really developed a set of process safety fundamentals that we have gone through with Engineer Ahmed today, that provide a framework for managing process safety risks in the industry. These fundamentals are based on the principles of leadership, process safety culture, stakeholder engagement, risk assessment, and management. Furthermore, operational control and learning and continuous improvement.
Firstly, I wanted to thank all people that thanked me for the clear of the topic. I hope I can already put just a small knowledge to you. I hope to meet again, inshallah, through the course with the EPA. It will
Absolutely,
be
yes.
very interesting. Yeah, it will be very interesting course, a framework, a clear framework, as you said, Engineer Assam, to be
Thank you.
implemented in our organization. Just from tomorrow, you can apply any of these PSF in your team, in your framework inside your organization. There is a question about the slide, Engineer Sam.
Actually, you can see the slides on the recording of this live webinar. And I think it's okay to share, if it's okay for you, for sure. It's okay for you,
Yeah,
Engineer Ahmed, to share them with them.
yeah, sure.
Okay, so absolutely, we will do this in a couple of days on our social media platform. So, who's asking? Success.
Yeah.
So, success, please follow us on LinkedIn. For sure, we will provide you with the slides for this interesting webinar. So time now for share with you the link for the quiz that Engineer Ahmed prepared for all of you. I really encourage you all to go through this quiz to check your focus and to make sure you got the idea of today's webinar. Just a minute, and the link will be in the chat box. And actually, I can see it's a lovely quiz uh, that will measure your ability to answer the 10 questions in just 5 minutes.
For Isra Abdul Hakim, I can see that you are interested in more safety webinars. So you have to ask OPA, Engineer Assam with us, ask OPA to provide another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I add my voice to yours. This is the beginning. Isra, don't worry about this. Uh, in the upcoming months, you will see a plenty of free webinars in safety with OBA, as long as live courses with good prices to support fresh graduates and people who are willing to secure a career in the safety industry. So here is the link in the chat box. Please go through this link, answer the questions and send. And Engineer Ahmed will got from this link that you copy the idea of today's webinar. Sadaqat is saying a little longer webinar would be more beneficial. Yeah, for sure. So I really encourage you to join us in the upcoming course. Uh, if you join us in this course, you guys gonna be to get from the experience of Engineer Ahmed for sure. And don't worry about this. We are committed, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we are committed to providing you with more free stuff through our channel on YouTube. Here is the link again, so that it not be missed in the messages. Also, please, this is for me. Don't forget about the feedback link that I sent earlier. So you have a plenty of links that I sent to you today. Actually, started with different links for registering for a live or recorded courses or mentorship or also internship program with OPA, as well as the feedback form link sent by the end of the webinar and the beautiful quiz that Engineer Ahmed prepared for you. Guys, we have few minutes to finish this webinar. So please, I would like to make sure that if anyone has a question, please feel free to ask it. There is no stupid question. Even if you want to more clarification of one of these points, go ahead, ask us. Engineer Ahmed will be more than happy to answer you.
Yeah, for sure. Our topic today about a fundamental. So a fundamental is related to the basics and the ground, the floor of the process safety. So there is no stupid question. You are feel free to ask any question that in your mind.
Excellent. Excellent. One more note about the upcoming webinars. We also encourage you all to join us in this Friday's webinar. We have a very interesting webinar about the fundamentals of water flooding. So please don't miss this webinar. We would like to see you all with us in this webinar. One and also something that I note Uh, Please, guys, don't go with the journey. Don't go the journey with us alone. I really encourage you to share these webinars with your friends. If you are in a university, share this with your class. If you are working in a professional organization, please share this with your fellows or colleagues in work. We would like to spread uh, this knowledge all over the world. And I can see this webinar is really very organized one. I really thank you, Engineer Ahmed, for the effort that you put in this webinar.
Thank you. You are welcome, Asom.
So seems like no questions. Yeah, here we got one.
Yeah. Okay, the IOGP set safety rules only for upstream sector? No. Let me answer this question through the report itself of the IOGP. Firstly, we are introducing IOGP as an upstream sector for the upstream sector, but through the report itself and the process safety fundamentals that have been developed, they said that in a clear statement that the PSFs are for all the oil and gas sectors, not only the upstream and also the downstream. So because of this question itself, I mentioned this incident of downstream organization to ensure that the IOGP process safety fundamentals is fit for all the kind of industry, upstream and downstream. I hope I answer your question, Fasih.
Yes, I see this is very clear. Thanks for your question, Fasih. If you have more, please put them in the chat. So it seems a lot like we got to the end of this webinar. Uh, Thank you again, Engineer Ahmed, for the lovely webinar. Thanks everyone for your patience, discipline, and for joining us for today. And we really look forward to seeing you all in the upcoming webinars. Bye bye and see you soon.